Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. How we do it? Let's do it. 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 Yo, it's your man DU. It's your man DU, and this is another session of talking trash. Yeah. You know how I like to start it off with a little bit of Mongo talk. The topic of Mongo talk is change. Change is inevitable. Change you have to embrace. Change is needed to move forward. One of my favorite songs of all time by Sam Cooke, A Change is Gonna Come. So in this year of 2026, this new year where we're 20 days in? Embrace change. Look forward to change. Because change is going to come whether good or bad. So let's get started. I'm about to talk some trash.
Morning.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yeah. And talking about change, right now I'm going to talk about John Harbaugh being the new coach of the New York Football Giants. The Giants just changed their coach from Kafka. Well, they got rid of Dabo. Kafka was the interim head coach. And now the Giants have a coach that solidifies them as a team. Someone that's going to bring them structure. Somebody that, when you're hot on the market, you get fired from the Baltimore Ravens, and about a week later, you're right back with a job. More money. John Harbaugh signs with the New York Giants 5-year, $100 million. $20 million a year before taxes, right? $20 million a year before taxes. But this is like one of the best moves in a coaching position for the Giants since Tom Coughlin. Does it guarantee a championship? Who knows? But he's going to have some horses in his stable. It's going to be Jackson Dart. It's going to be Cam Scatterboo. It's going to be Malik Neighbors. Right? And who knows who they're going to pick up during the offseason. And again, I said it before. I've said it before on this platform. I love and respect Tyrone Tracy. I love that guy's game. Like if it ain't Scatterboo in the backfield, then Tyrone Tracy is definitely more than capable. He's definitely more than capable. I look forward to seeing Tracy in the backfield playing under John Harbaugh. I watched the press conference. John Harbaugh's press conference today. The only Giant that I know that was present, it probably was more present, but one that was present was Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was present. And that's important. And I'm gonna say why it was important in a minute. John Shane, the GM, who didn't lose his job, which after Dable got fired, I think all of New York thought John Shane should lose his job. He introduced Harbaugh to the podium. And you could tell that the introduction was difficult for him. So while I'm watching the press conference as John Shane is introducing Harbaugh to the podium, you can tell he was nervous, right? He was sweating. Now, people was like, man, John Harbaugh is nervous. Like in the comments, they was like, yo, he's nervous. He's sweating. Like he's not. No, this man is used to public speaking. This man is used to being in front of crowds. It was difficult for him to introduce John Harbaugh because in his contract, Harbaugh's contract, he got in writing that he doesn't report to Shane. John Shane, Shane, whatever. Tomato, right? So that he reports directly to the Maras. So Harbaugh is like, yo, I'm trying to make you Mr. Irrelevant, John. Right? I'm trying to make you Mr. Irrelevant. And you could tell for John Shane, it was a difficult introduction. You know, he smiled for the cameras. He said a few pleasantries. But I've seen other press conferences where GMs would go longer, would talk longer for the new coaching hire. Because for the most part, the coaches that would come in wasn't undercutting the GM. Wasn't trying to bypass his authority. But Shane's walking around like, yo, I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I better have an A+ draft. I better draft the best players in history in 2026 in the month of April. I better get some great free agents. Because Harbaugh put me in a position to be a dead man walking. In a position to be a dead man walking. So Harbaugh comes to the podium, and yo, I know Baltimore's not New York, but the man's been in the league, as a coach, a head coach, almost over 2 decades, right? Close to 2 decades, 19 years. He controlled the room. I haven't seen a Giant coach that confident since Coughlin. And I don't even know if confident is this confident. Harbaugh's 62 with the energy of a 40-year-old. He controlled the room. And one thing he said Andy Reid, that stood out to me. It's a couple of things he said that stood out to me. He said, they asked him about Jackson Dart. Was Jackson Dart the deciding factor for him to come to New York? And he said, yeah, I like Jackson Dart, but I see Jameis Winston too. And Jameis Winston was at that press conference. He said, I see Jameis Winston. I saw Jameis Winston too. I've coached against Jameis Winston also, where he burned us in a game for multiple touchdowns. He looked at Jameis Winston and said, that was a good game for you. Which made me say or think, yo, he's not totally sold on Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is going to have to be committed to the game of football. The fan base of New York is sold on Jackson Dart. Dable was sold on Jackson Dart. Harbaugh is not sold on Jackson Dart yet. That stood out. The second thing, before I get there, if Jackson Dart was there, that would have been all over the news that he was there. But before I watched the press conference, there was another video out talking about Jameis Winston being at Harbaugh's press conference. So now, I know I can see the scheme from Jameis Winston's standpoint. Jameis Winston he still got some football. He got a lot of football left in him. But I see him, the rounds that he's making, he's a country boy that's made for the city. He's setting himself up for after football. He's setting himself up for, to live a life in New York with this media. Like when Jameis, because he has an electric personality. When Jameis is finished, when he hangs up his cleats, he's going in front of the camera for sure. He's going in front of the camera. So he's attending everything. You're seeing him everywhere because he's setting himself up after football. And if Jameis is not in front of the camera, he's going to be on the sidelines coaching. So he's setting himself up. But Harbaugh's statement is like, hey, I like the young man Jackson Dart, but he better be ready to play football. Don't win us games. Jameis, I know where Jameis Winston is at. And another thing that stood out during his press conference was, Andy Reid reached out to him and said, change is good. Change is good. Right? So, and it's the whole thing about change. And now, talk about change. I'm sure, I don't know if you heard about the All-Star starters. Right? The All-Star starters so far for the East. Brunson, Giannis, Maxey, who I think in another year or two might become the best guard in the NBA. Jaylen Brown and Cunningham. Again, let me repeat it. Brunson, Giannis, Maxey, Brown, and Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, sorry. I want to see Brunson and Giannis in the All-Star game together because they might be on the same team together forever, right? And in the West, it's Doncic, Jokic, the Joker, Wemby, who in another year or two, like I just said, Maxey might become the best guard in the NBA. I really think Victor Wembanyama is going to be the best player in the NBA, hands down. Better than Doncic, better than Jokic, better than Anthony Edwards. Wemby is going to be the best player in the NBA in a year or two. Honestly, I think he's 15 pounds away, 15 pounds of muscle away from just totally catching wreck in the NBA. 15 pounds away of averaging like 36, 13 rebounds and 3 blocks on a regular. So again, the West is Doncic, the Joker, Victor Wembanyama, Curry, the vet, SGA. Change. LeBron James is not a starter. Change. It's going to be the West. Matter of fact, it's going to be the world. The world against the U.S. 2 U.S. teams and 1 world team. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it's change. Things constantly change. Even though it's positionless basketball now, and this is part of change, something I wish they would change back to is the standard forward, center, guard concept. Because you got 3-point guards starting, right? But I'm gonna see how they shake it up because again, it's two USA teams and 1 world team. See how they shake that up. Those that see this video, let me know how y'all feel about that. But yo, again, like I say, embrace the change. Looking forward to the All-Star game. When that comes in a couple of weeks. Harbaugh, welcome to New York. Think he's gonna do great things. The next time, last night's game, I'm gonna watch again. I'm talking about the Indiana. I know Indiana won the national title against Miami. Next time I come back, I'm gonna address that heck of a game. Talk about Mendoza in full detail. Yeah, and before I leave out, I'll always give you a song of the day, something to bump in your crib, something to bump in your car. You want to hear some real hip hop? Check out Nas' new song, Pause Tape. I've been bumping that all day. Nas' new song, Pause Tape. Yo, for real, it's your man DU, and this is Talking Trash, and I'm out. Y'all be good.